Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Yes, that's right. I'm an uncle. Officially an Uncle Chris. I think I told you guys that already, but, well, if you didn't know, well, now you know. My sister-in-law just gave birth to a baby, as opposed to a dot matrix printer. Xander is my nephew's name, and it makes me feel old, even though I grew up with kids who were uncles. And I always wondered when I was going to become an uncle. Of course, this is my baby brother who had a baby himself. Well, not himself, his wife had the baby. I wanted, to name it Seven, but they went with Xander instead, and I am Uncle Chris. I asked them, though, I said, are you taking movies? Are you shooting movies? Like, no, we're taking photos. But why not movies? Everything's video. It's like, well, our camcorder is just kind of bleh. Oh, wow. Because they couldn't work with the camcorder, they're not taking movies. It's very telling. And I wanted to read this email from James Mowry, or techindemand.com. He says, hello, Chris. I must rant for something for a few minutes. I am extremely annoyed with the fact that corporations like Sony, Canon, JVC, amongst others, feel the need to restrict users to certain video editing applications by utilizing a proprietary format. It seems like a stupid idea, right? After all, what's the point of forcing us to use certain video editing software over another? Why make users go through the process of rendering out a video of another format only to edit in yet another video editing package? Does anyone really benefit from this? If I want to use Sony Vegas, then let me do that. If I want to use Adobe Premiere, then I should have the right to do that as well. This goes for all the other video editing software. It's common sense. It does the consumer no good, in my opinion, and has been a problem that I have seen discussed in forums for years. Why do these companies fail to take notice of this? In the end, Chris, do you believe it's possible in the future to have access to a video format that will allow all amateur and professional videographers alike to edit with any software of their choosing? I'm sure you've experienced my same frustration in the past, and I just wanted to know what your stance on all of this was. Thanks for your time, James. I don't know where to begin, other than to say, yeah, I'm equally as frustrated. It's one of the reasons why if I do any kind of video recording, it's either going to be live out over the internet where I know I can control the format more easily, it's all digitized instantaneously, or recording video in a pure digital format without even messing with, traditional camcorders. Most digital cameras today have the ability to shoot movies. Not amazing quality, but I found it to be, good enough, at least for my needs. This particular camera records and encodes MP4 on the camera, but even if it didn't, most digital cameras record in like an AVI, no DV wacky formats. I had purchased a Sony camcorder that recorded in the AVC HD format, which other manufacturers supported, but software support has been lackluster, and I don't know why. I don't know why they're not all just recording an MPEG 2 right now. It just simple. I mean, let's just think about this, right? Over the years, let's think about audio formats. What was the first audio format to take off with at least audio files that were on the internet? The first one that was just bam. What was the first one? Anybody? I think they're off on their own. Wave? No, waves were around for a while, but do you really share files in wave format? MIDI? Guys, you guys, MP3s! How come no one said MP3? Oh, God. That was everything. It wasn't a high-quality file, but it worked. And if you could play an MP3, you knew the other person could play an MP3, you knew the other person could play an MP3, you knew the other person could play an MP3. The software supported MP3, the hardware started supporting MP3, now you can't get rid of MP3. You just can't. MP3 is going to be around, like, forever. Well, maybe not forever, but it's certainly going to be around for a long time, and no matter how hard other software developers, hardware developers, platform producers, no matter how hard they try to introduce formats to compete with MP3, MP3's still there. Still there. Doesn't matter what they try, man. it all comes back to MP3 because it was the format that everybody supported. MP4 is going to be the same way with higher quality video. It's just going to continue to evolve, in my opinion and in my mind. If any kind of video recorder does not support MP4 on camera, it's not worth the money. You know, I know that recording something to tape is something that a lot of people are likely going to do, and definitely that's one of the things I kind of wish I could do with the Sony digital camcorder that I got, the HD camcorder with AVC HD support. Software just wasn't there, and so everything I record is in MPEG 2. Because I know I can use that format in theory anywhere. But I agree, it's all this proprietary nonsense has got to disappear. It has to disappear. I mean, there are a lot of formats out there to begin with, but if it's not interoperable, it ain't going to work. And I think that was the idea in theory with AVC HD. It just still hasn't happened yet. You know, people are just falling back on what they know can work with one platform and another platform and another platform. I'm flabbergasted, quite honestly. Why do they do this? They want to lock you into their brand. They want to lock you into their tools. They want to lock you into their partners. And history has shown us that eventually this won't be the norm. The idea of proprietary and the idea of not being in a vendor-neutral ecosystem, I think is just, it's not going to be there sooner or later. Hopefully sooner. It's really bad. It's consumer unfriendly. It's the reason why my brother and his wife don't even want to bother doing video. It's the reason why I haven't necessarily recommended a camera for them to shoot video. It may very well be just a regular old point-and-shoot digital camera, because then I know at least the videos will be digitized. So I say just digitize them, throw them on YouTube, archive them on blip.tv, or whatever. You know? Don't need to go in there with fancy video editing tools and everything. That's where a lot of people get tripped up, right? They buy all this expensive software, they buy all this expensive hardware, and then they just sit on it. That is the #1 reason why I stream live video. It's the #1 reason why I know it's not the highest quality, but I'm able to do it live, and more importantly, I'm able to do it live to tape. And what that means is when I hit record, that's the way it goes. Bleeps, bloops, errors, and all. No editing. Clip, print, done. That's it. That's it. That's all we do. That's the #1 reason why I do what I do, because I know editing video is a pain. If more people got used to the idea of shooting live to tape and doing absolutely no editing whatsoever, I think they'd be happier. You'd see a lot more videos, as long as they can shoot live to tape very well. And those in the chat room know that sometimes I have to do 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 7 takes of one particular video that I feel good about. But it's because I don't want to edit video, because I know the nightmare. I know. They lock you in. They try to develop their own standard. I've made these correlations before. Could you imagine if there were 5 or 6 different World Wide Webs? Could you imagine if you had to have 18 email accounts just to communicate with everybody you knew? Why should it be any different for your media recording? Obviously the technology works. It's just bits! Why they lock us in, I don't know. It's not fair to us. But then again, when have companies ever proven that they're consumer friendly? Think about that. Find the company that's consumer friendly. That's the company we back. They're all consumer friendly in their own little way, but they've got to become more consumer friendly. They have to start thinking, you know, we got to work with other companies on this. We've got to remove these pain points for people. They have to. It's inevitable. And I am not emo. Does my hair look at all like I'm emo? I don't even listen to emo music. I like Emo Phillips, but that doesn't make me any more emo than it makes me a dot matrix printer. I'm Elmo. I'm more like Elmo than I am emo or Uma. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this a mess? Have you found any kind of solution? What do you do with your video workflow, if you do anything at all? Are you like me? Do you shoot live to tape? You know, what video editing tools do you use? Do you see any hope on the horizon for getting past this mess? Helping people like my brother and sister-in-law who are like techno newbies. They don't want to mess with any of this stuff. Any suggestions? Any old way. My email address is chris@pirillo.com, and I'm sure I'm going to get tons of email about this. And if anything, you guys are going to leave responses, posting your thoughts on YouTube or the blog. I've got a blog and a podcast. You can subscribe to either one at chris.pirillo.com. And, of course, you're also welcome to join us, as people are inviting you right now. The chat room is open 24 hours a day. We're typically talking tech with this live video stream going out. Sometimes I record videos. Other times I'm just doing this. Not actually typing anything, just, tapping my fingers on the wrist rest. It's probably why I don't get anything done. I really got to learn how to type. Anyway, we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Waiting for you to stop by for whatever reason. As long as you're kind and nice. What are you waiting for? We'll see you soon at live.pirillo.com. See you later.